Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Please like, subscribe, follow me on Twitter, become a member to the channel, follow me on Instagram, follow me on TikTok, and leave that donation for that fried rice and chicken wings. Let me tell you something. Claressa Shields, there's a huge public shift, and I don't know if she can, fix that, because really she should be universally respected. We all agree that's how it should be, but it's not. Two-time Olympic gold medalist, multiple division champion, undefeated, first woman to unify every major belt in 2 weight classes. The resume is undeniable. As a matter of fact, she's in 3 weight classes where she's become undisputed. But let me tell you something. The energy around her has changed. Everyone's talking about it. It's not just this channel. Every single person who out here talking boxing is doing Claressa videos. And we all know when a certain individual topic is hot, people converge. But the reality is this. She was once viewed as the face of women's boxing. Now she's just trending for all the wrong reasons. So I just think we need to try to break down and explore why so many fans have turned on Claressa Shields, kind of how it started and how it can be fixed, if she wants to fix it. Now, the Laila Ali beef. Look, when Claressa was out here calling out Laila Ali in interviews, online posts, to a lot of people it came off as a standard boxing promotion, the young lion calling out the legend, but it didn't stay respectful for long. Laila responded with calm confidence, saying she'll beat Claressa easily. Claressa took offense, instead of letting it die down. Shields doubled down, making live videos, name-calling, and challenging Ali repeatedly, even mentioning Laila Ali's father's name, Muhammad. Now, fans saw this not as just coincidence because it went on for so long. They said, it's like she's obsessed with Laila Ali. Now, what hurt Claressa's image the most was her tone. Laila never really came off bitter, never really came off jealous. She was just retired, at peace, chilling in the breeze, speaking from experience. Claressa, on the other hand, came across as defensive, emotional, angry, jealous. And when Laila posted 2 videos showing Claressa's past words and behavior, this was the killer. The insults, the aggression, the contradictions. Those clips spread like wildfire. And the reality is, what we got to see is what Claressa Shields really is. And that's what she got to see as well. And she didn't like seeing who she really is. That is the persona that she put out here into the world. And Laila Ali just managed to kind of, chronologically sequence some things and really painted Claressa Shields out to be what she is. Just an angry, emotional, bitter woman. Because Claressa is just always on the defensive and she's super emotional. So a lot of fans saw what it looked like for someone to be insecure and to mask that insecurity with confidence. And that's just how a lot of people see it. I see it the same way. The Laila Ali beef didn't just damage Claressa's relationship with the fans, it fractured her connection with boxing's legacy. It became a moment where people realized maybe Claressa doesn't know when to stop fighting. She doesn't know when to stop fighting. She doesn't know who she should be fighting. And she definitely doesn't know when to shut up and who not to talk about. In particular, Muhammad Ali. Because I'm telling you, even if she may feel like it was unintentional, the shit was impactful. When Claressa said she was better than Laila and how Muhammad Ali wouldn't have ducked no smoke, and Laila Ali, she must have his DNA, and kept mentioning Muhammad Ali's name. Look, a lot of us are realizing now that, okay, that was her way to try to get under Laila Ali's skin and maybe push her towards a fight to where Claressa Shields could financially benefit. But it didn't work. You know what I'm saying? And this whole thing about better than Muhammad Ali, statistically, accomplished more titles, more Olympic success, more historic milestones. Boxing isn't just about stats, and this is what Claressa Shields needs to realize. It's about symbolism. It's about attitude. Attitude. Fans don't forgive or forget when someone, even unintentionally, downplays the greatest symbol of the sport. Muhammad Ali is more than a boxer. I always talk about it. All 7 continents, global love. People hold that man near and dear to their hearts. He's an icon of courage, activism, and humility after fame. So even though Claressa didn't mean to disrespect Ali, right? It was received as arrogant, distasteful, trashy, insensitive, because he is no longer with us. May he rest in peace. It wasn't just a statement, it became a headline. That headline hurt her image. Let me tell you something. People don't like Claressa Shields. Women don't like her. I didn't say all, but the vast majority who follow boxing, they don't like her. Instead of clarifying with humility, Claressa Shields won't come out here and say, I didn't mean disrespect. I apologize. I was just comparing errors. I didn't mean it that way. I understand if it came off that way. That wasn't my intention, but I truly am sorry. Please accept my sincere and genuine apology. She won't do that. All she's going to do is get combative with fans who challenge her. Have a YouTube channel, on Twitter, on TikTok, anywhere. She want to run up on you and bite you. Nah, man. But the more she defended, the deeper the hole became, and the more people talk. And they're going to keep talking. The best thing Claressa Shields did was for that moment after Laila Ali dropped that first video where Claressa Shields didn't say nothing. That silence was her weapon. But didn't last for long. Not at all. She came out here, she was back with her rah rah like a dungeon dragon. You know she thinks she a rapper and shit. That moment was when many fans quietly stopped rooting for her. Can't talk about Muhammad Ali. And it's not because Claressa Shields, is not great, but because she stopped representing greatness with grace. And that was her problem. And that's still her problem. The attitude. Let me tell you something. Claressa Shields' biggest enemy isn't another fighter. It's her own mouth. I'm a yuck mouth because I don't brush. She's raw, outspoken, fearless, we get it, which are great traits in the ring, but disastrous when uncontrolled outside the ring. Outside the ring, this girl's a loose cannon. She don't care. She even said on the $1 Million Worth of Game podcast, where I'm from, if you say something when I see you, you got to stand on it. If not, we going to punch you in your mouth. What the fuck is that? A 2-time gold medalist, top 1% or something, supposed to be professional, representing yourself with greatness. You want people to respect you, but you out here as a 2-time gold medalist, all these championships, multiple weight divisions, talking about how you going to punch somebody in the fucking mouth? What are you doing? You're 30 years old. You acting your shoe size? What, you 7, 8, 9? You're bigger. What you at? Size 12 shoe? What, you 12 years old? 12 years old? That's acceptable to you? Multi-millionaire? Got a habit of going online, arguing with people, going all up in the goddamn comments, stirring up shit. Cursing out critics, reacting emotionally to anyone who doesn't praise her. Got in the ring with a guy, sparring. We believe his story. You were being foul in there. He binged you, knocked your ass out. You talking about going to get a knife and stab him, talking about he had his gloves were manipulated and all this bullshit. But you talking about lawsuits and suing people. How about this guy come sue you? He'll manipulate his gloves, and that's why. No, he binged your ass, you know why? Because he's a man and you a woman. He's a goddamn professional boxer, too. Nobody want to praise Claressa Shields the way she conducts herself? And has been conducting herself over time. That shit creates fatigue. That's the issue. Pay attention. Message. People are tired, man. People start hearing any message that she's trying to say, even if she's right, because there's so much goddamn noise. So the issue isn't that she's passionate, that she doesn't have an off switch. You got to have a kill switch. You got to know when you turn things on and turn things off. When I go out here, if I'm walking, I'm jogging, I run 5-6 days a week. Everyone knows I go live when I run most of the time. I'm out here running. Sometimes people be out here on their cell phones not even paying attention, almost hit me. I just jump back. I may blurt out a little bit, what the fuck? But I mean, it stops there. I just take a deep breath and I keep running because they didn't hit me. And there's no need to, I got to hit the kill switch. But now if my son was riding his bicycle and something like that happened, oh yeah, no, I'd be glad he's okay. But no, I'm going to have a lot more to say than that. You know what I'm saying? But all I'm saying is that same energy, right, that you need in a fight or flight mode, like someone almost running over your child, or you need like Claressa when she's in the ring fighting, you can't use that fight energy for every goddamn critic. Great champions learn to pivot from fighter to being a professional. I've done lives, I've talked about this. Even I had to learn that, you know what I'm saying? And I wasn't a professional fighter. But, in my capacity, like a lot of you even know the way to conduct yourself. Shields often defends her behavior by saying, I'm a boxer, that's who I am. I'm a fighter, fighters fight, fighters this. Hickory dickory dock, the boxer ran up the clock struck one, we all fell down. Hickory dickory dock. Papoose, Pap, did you like that? You hit my pen, I'm spitting, you hit my lyrics, Papoose. Hickory dickory, Papoose. Nobody would hear no hickory dickory dock shit. You in the top 1%. Anybody, any sport, you're no longer just that athlete. Boxing, you're not just a fighter. You're a brand, a representative of women's boxing, and an influence on the next generation. The switch has to turn off when the gloves come off. Simple. Take the goddamn mouthpiece out. How you eating? You eating gourmet meals. You making hamburgers with fried egg for Papoose. You got your mouthpiece in. You eating with the mouthpiece in? How you doing that? Got that gold medal syndrome. I'm feeling a little sick. I got the handyman going on over here. You got the gold medal syndrome. Constantly reminding people that two-time gold medals. Watch me. Undisputed champion, undisputed. Yo, you have every right to be proud. But Lord have mercy. When that becomes your default response to every critique, it starts to sound like insecurity. We don't give a shit. Fans want humility with greatness. When Muhammad Ali said he was the greatest, he was joking, rhyming, entertaining, but he balanced confidence with charm. Claressa's delivery often lacks that charisma. It's more like with venom. You know what I'm saying? With poison. Dare to offend. I'm superior. You're inferior. I'm okay. You're not okay. It comes from an ego state. And you know what the irony is? Her achievements speak for themselves. You don't need to talk about it. I come out here, people know, he's retired. I don't say much about nothing. I'm retired. I talk about, some of my experiences, but I don't come and brag and talk about nothing. Nothing. I never will. You know why? Because it doesn't matter. When you got your shit together, you got your shit together. And in her capacity, she's fucking public image. She's a public figure. We all know what she's done. It's all over the goddamn internet. Don't need to keep reminding the world that you're an elite fighter. The belts prove it. The gold medals prove it. When you get in the ring, you dog walk females like you really are that girl in the ring. But you keep trying to remind everybody of shit just like you still fighting for validation. You already earned the validation. But I think for her, the top 1% dilemma. People keep saying, you talk about the top 1%. I talk about it because that's what I reached and what I was doing. And that's what a lot of people reach. When you can't go any higher, when it's like nothing less to do, maybe now it's like lateral accomplishments, but you've moved up the ladder. Like you can't go any further. So you start to look to do things laterally. That's that top 1%. That's what people wish they could get there. Hard work, dedication. It doesn't matter what you do. There are only a hand select few that can get there. Claressa Shields is there, man. Top 1% of her field. Position few ever reach. But with that level of success comes responsibility. And the problem is she ain't got nobody sitting there talking to her about leadership and about responsibility and accountability, not the right people to mentor her. That's the problem. Athletes at that level don't get the same leeway as rookies or amateurs, and she needs to understand that. That's why everybody got their foot on her neck. She ain't a rookie. She ain't an amateur. She's not in a little small glass house. No, she's in a huge glass house, and only takes one rock to shatter that shit. The problem is she's throwing rocks from the fucking glass house, and she wonder why it keeps breaking. You throwing the motherfucking rock. Nobody's throwing it at you. You throwing it. It just so happen people are like, oh, you want to throw rocks at us? You got 1 million people out here just locked and loaded, ready to throw rocks back at you. You're doing it. Every word you say, every post you say, every reaction is magnified. Imagine if you put out positive. I see she's trying to put out a few positive things here and there. Now, I see that. But it's still, kind of premature for us to say, oh, she's delivered, she's changed. Oh, Claressa Shields, oh, we have our champ, we have a whoa. Nah. It's like, all right, it could be a step in the right direction, but, we don't trust you. But you keep putting out the good. The reaction is going to be magnified. It's going to go from everybody doubting you to saying, oh, she's being consistent. Okay, here we go. But right now, you ain't going to, it doesn't happen like that. You don't get people don't change overnight. When you represent women's boxing, you represent all women in the sport and how you access the tone for what fans expect from the next generation. And right now, even women in the sport of boxing don't mess with Claressa Shields. They don't want nothing to do with her. Maybe a few, but the majority don't. Because she's come out here and gone at it with her. And those who mess with her may just be to get a fight with her and get some money. But they don't like her. So in this way, Claressa Shields' biggest challenge is not competition, it's maturity. Can she grow into the standard that she created for herself? Because she created a standard whether she realizes it or not. Matter of fact, she is the standard. But can she grow into that? Mentally, that girl, she still act like a little kid, like a little child. She's what she act like a little child. The standard of a special, once in a generation, once in a lifetime athlete, but the mentality of a child. Crazy. Now this shit with the faith and God and Jesus and the Bible and all that, got us confused. You got a split identity going on out here. Talking about God and faith in the Bible. Nothing wrong with that. That's beautiful. No matter what your religious beliefs are, it's all beautiful to me. You never hear me say anything negative about that. But I will comment on if you posting scripture one day, talking scripture one day, then cursing somebody out online the next day or the same day. I mean, I got to be like, that shit it got me confused. Nobody want anyone to be perfect. No one's perfect. No one's perfect. But you got to be consistent. You're going to come out in public, talk about God. People expect to see some level of grace or restraint. When Claressa uses faith as part of her brand, but doesn't walk in that spirit, it creates backlash. It's the same principle that hurt Kanye West in music. Jesus walks. God showed me the way, but the devil. Hey, devil, get the fuck out of here. What was that? Too many mixed signals, my man. God showed you a way. Now you want to cuss out everybody? Everyone's the devil. Everyone's the enemy. What you doing? Mixed signals lose fans. So I just think if Claressa wants to connect with people, she got to align her message with that behavior. You know what I mean? Her behavior got to align with the message that she's sending out, man. People far from slow, man. Ain't nobody out here, man, sitting around opening up Cracker Jack boxes and reading little jokes and he, ha, ha, ha. Nah. You got truly intelligent people out here. People out here got some gazillionaires, you got billionaires, you got millionaires out here, you got millionaires out here, you got millionaires out here. You got thousandaires and some almost theirs out here. Don't come thinking that somehow you're superior to everyone because you got these gold medals and shit. You come out here and just totally shit it on everybody. Everybody. And to be honest, most of these people say they got more happiness in their life than Claressa Shields. So if she wants to connect with people, she got to make some changes. It don't mean she got to be silent. She doesn't have to be passive. But she got to show the discipline that great champions possess. Now, Are there any athletes that may have changed and thrived? We say no. Okay, you got all this expectation for Claressa Shields. All right, well, what about other athletes? All right, I hear that. You know what I'm saying? Many athletes have been at the crossroads where Claressa Shields is at right now. And they came out stronger by changing their image. Mike Tyson. People bring him up when I talk. Y'all love Mike Tyson. I've always, loved Mike Tyson, man. Fighter, got busy. I never believed that he raped that young lady. I still don't. But the bottom line is his mouth was wild. You know what I'm saying? And he was hated by a lot of people. He was feared. He was out of control. But he found peace, humility, became loved again. Claressa Shields can do that. Floyd Mayweather turned arrogance into entertainment. Once fans understood it was a character, not personal hatred, he controlled his narrative. But there's still a lot of people who they still don't like Floyd, because he's still out here flashing off the money and all that. And if that's what he wants to do, but the consequences are he got to trouble with an entourage, because if you go somewhere, people are going to try to hurt him. That's wrong, too. I want to say that's wrong for people to do him like that, but you create that. You create that. That I'm okay, look at me, I what I have, you don't have it. People are going to sit there and be like, all right. And then they get an opportunity. They're going to try to violate you. Serena Williams, they even try to label her as angry and emotional. But she evolved into an icon through maturity, motherhood, and grace under pressure. But if you watch that story on Serena Williams, you'll have a good understanding of just all the obstacles she faced and how she and look at what she ended up doing. So we could understand Claressa Shields. We understand. Look, we understand. But we don't agree with the way you're moving. But there's some shit we don't understand, especially about this deal. Then George Foreman, people don't talk about him enough, man. He was intimidating, very, very intimidating. He was a brawler, wasn't friendly to no one, man. This guy became a TV legend. His transformation showed that humility can multiply legacy. George Foreman is a really good example of what can happen when you decide to make a change. That damn George Foreman. I forgot about George till I started running my mouth. So, to me, what she needs to understand, the same fire that made Claressa a champion can also burn her legacy the way it's doing if she doesn't get control of that flame. Fans aren't turning on her because she's a woman, not because she's confident, not because she's outspoken, not because she got 4 cars, 5 houses, not because I got 8 million. Pat, tell him I got a milli, Pat, Norbit, I ain't eat that cake, Pat, tell him I ain't eat the cake. People turning on her because they're exhausted from the chaos. They're tired of that shit. They want to celebrate her, not defend her. They want to root for her, not feel attacked by her. And that's what you get from Claressa Shields. If Claressa learns to separate the fighter from the public figure to show class where once showed combat, she can win fans back faster than any belt. But she's going to always struggle with fans because of that shit between her, Papoose, and Remy. Right? I'm talking boxing, but since I'm doing this video, I'm going to throw it out there. 100% of the ladies, they ain't feeling Claressa Shields because of her, Papoose, him being married, and her something about just that whole situation. They ain't feeling that shit at all. Claressa Shields better listen to the ladies. I'm a man. I'm always rooting for the guy. But I hear the ladies, I understand. So, I don't really talk about it. I let them talk about it. But since I'm doing this video, I'm going to throw it in there. The ladies ain't feeling that shit. And I hear them. They know I don't say nothing, but I hear them. They ain't trying to hear that. And then you talking about God and Jesus. A lot of these women out here, boy, they all about their good book. You can't come out here talking the good book talk and then being with this guy like that. Even no matter what the situation is or what, people still, they ain't trying to hear it. So, just understand that. The female fans are the ones who are truly behind Claressa, and she's lost a large percentage of that contingent. So as far as winning fans back faster than a belt can, changing the attitude and all that's cool, but she gotta figure out some other things, because I'm telling you, that relationship thing is a big thorn in the side for many of her, ex-fans. But if she continues to believe aggression is a strength and disrespect is confidence, she'll continue to alienate the very audience that once unlifted her, the people who are uplifting her and around her right now. Because believe you me, people are standing around when Claressa Shields ain't around, her friends be like, yo, man, she crazy, or she's wrong. You know, she did that. You can't believe this, man. Yeah. Nah, I think so too, but, you know, she ain't gonna listen to me. That's the shit they saying. So, say all that to say what? The road to redemption. Claressa's story is not doomed. I don't think it's doomed. I'm actually sitting back waiting. Y'all know I keep saying 90-day mark, I'm going to do a reassessment. 180-day mark reassessment. In 1 year, we're going to know what's going on. We're going to know if it's all good or if it's all smoke and mirrors. Because I don't want to hear nobody crying and all that, and snot slinging and flying and tongue hanging out your mouth, wrapped around your head, dragging across your scalp with saliva hitting all four corners of the room. Now, don't bring that shit over here. She got time to pivot. If she starts showing humility, acknowledges past missteps, lets her gloves do the talking, the same fans criticizing her today will cheer for her tomorrow. That's just how it goes. But she got to understand public forgiveness doesn't come from dominance. It comes from growth. We all have to go through it and show growth. When you look back on it, you're like, man, I'm glad I made those changes, those refinements. And if you got to overhaul who you are, then you got to. Mike Tyson had to overhaul who he was. So she got to figure out what route she needs to take. But if she can take the right route, Claressa can go from being controversial to complete, from a fighter to a legend. Like, she can do it. But I ain't rooting for her or against her. I'm just sitting back here just kind of watching the ride. I hope she don't crash and burn. But the way she going, she can crash and burn. From with boxing, from with the inactivity, from with whatever she's doing with the coming out talking about her, the signing, the millions, and the relationship, a public relationship with Papoose, the guy who's married, and fans are like, nah. In all those areas, if something doesn't work out because of how she's come out here and disrespected all the boxing fans, like, I'm okay, you're not okay. My man, my money, my attitude, my mouth, my car, my house, my medals, my belts. Okay. You fall on your face, that's going to be, I want to hear you say, that's my problem. That's what we want to hear. Because fans are going to be poking you right back in the eye. They're just waiting to laugh at you. So you better pray real hard that you can keep your shit stitched together. Because there's a whole lot of moving pieces there that even people who have a lot of years on this earth and a lot of experience, even they can't keep that shit together. Good luck in the breeze.